Welcome to the 7-day clean eating challenge. I'm Dr. LuLu Shemek. I'm going to be your guide and host this evening. So a little bit about me, if you haven't met me before, or maybe we've already met, a little bit more about who I am and what I specialize in is always a great another reintroduction. But if you're just meeting me for the first time, I'm so happy that you found me and you're here because my goal is to really educate and to empower you to take charge of your own health. And I provide lots of wonderful webinars to help do that. And so I'm a naturopathic physician. I went to Bastyr University. I have a medical degree from that university. And I'm a functional medicine practitioner from the IFM. I'm an author, botanical formulator, and podcast host of The Genetic Genius. I have a new book that came out last year, Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. And you can find that on my website or Amazon, and you can just put in Dr. LuLu and that comes right up and you can get your own copy. It's an amazing book. I think it's all about healing the heart, the adrenal system, and the brain and nervous system. Really great. So I specialize in helping patients regain hormonal balance, restore the gut, and heal the thyroid by discovering the root cause of the dysfunction. And I do that with many different aspects by working one-on-one with patients and in programs. I would say that really my focus and mindset, or my focus is a lot about mindset. So I really help patients through the mindset perspective, shifting their mindset, helping them to de-stress, relax, reduce anxiety. And that really helps them to address the emotional side of their healing, which accelerates their healing journey. I also specialize in genetics. I work a lot with patients who are wanting to take a deeper look into their genetics and look and see how that can empower them by learning how the genetics are functioning through all different aspects of their body, whether that's gut or the mental health picture, stress, the emotions, hair loss, immune system, all kinds of things. So I look at the different genes and from the epigenetic perspective and see how we can really help to shift the patient for prevention and wellness in the future. So that's just a couple of things about me. And today we're going to be talking about the 7-day clean eating challenge. So let's get started about that. So what to expect from this presentation this evening? When you think clean eating, it might seem challenging and you might seem lost about where to start. And that's why I like having this fun challenge, because it helps us to get those steps back in. When we create the foundation, when it comes to clean eating, it's really easy, right? It's just about creating those foundations. Today, you're going to learn that clean eating can be fun and easy when we have the right tools and take the simple steps. And what is this about? So we're going to learn simple rules, like the do's and don'ts. We're going to talk about that, how easy it is to go fresh and simple, know what to swap, the good foods and the bad foods, and having great plans and recipes. So within the 7-day eating challenge, I'm going to show you, if you haven't already downloaded the guide, there's all of the plans for what to eat for those 7 days. And also you have recipes and you have a grocery list. So great, makes it super easy. And let's dig in and get this challenge started. Yay. Okay, so webinar flow, meet me. You just met me. I'm Dr. LuLu. We're going to talk all through the 7-day clean eating challenge. You're going to learn about what it is. And then we're going to have a little open discussion. What's your challenge with eating healthy? So think about that. We'll do that kind of like in the middle. And think about that because I really like to understand why you're attending this webinar tonight. How can I help you learn what those challenges are and how to work and move through them? Wrap up, I'm going to talk about what the giveaway is going to be. And then there's going to be time to connect with me and I can answer all of your questions. Okay, great. I just wanted to talk about the disclaimer. I am a medical physician. I draw on my backgrounds, training skills, and life experiences. I support my patients spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I am a medical doctor. I hold a degree in medicine and functional medicine. The content in this webinar and all of my webinars are intended not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. It's intended only to be information for you, educational and self-empowerment purposes only. Of course, always please consult with your doctor or wellness team if you have any questions, or reach out to me regarding this information, and then make your own well-informed decisions based on what's best for your unique genetics, culture, conditions, and stage of life. Okay, super. Let's see. Someone was just posted, they can't make it. No worries, you'll get the recording. No worries about that. So don't worry. There's never any worries. You're always going to have the recording, and you can rewatch everything. All my webinars have their recording, which is great. So I thought I would put this up here before we dive deep into the clean eating. So 8 signs you need to do a detox. So one of the reasons that clean eating is so important is because it helps us to detox things in their body that have built up from not eating well. So let's take a look at this. So constipation, this is a huge one. It means your body's a big tube. Things aren't flowing through your body when you have constipation. Like in that tube, there's a block. So we got to open the things up, but get things moving. Excess belly fat, that's like the tube around the middle, right? The tube on the inside, and sometimes you get the tube on the outside. So excess belly fat. Anxiety and depression, eating and detoxification have a lot to do with our mental and emotional health. Low energy, so fatigue, that's a big aspect of how our body has enough energy to do the things it needs. If it's trying to get all the toxins out all the time, it loses energy. Hormonal imbalance, that's a lot to do with detoxification, because our liver is one of the main organs of detoxification. Everything flows through that liver, and when the body is in a toxic state, that liver is having to work overtime, and that can cause hormonal imbalance. Joint pain and inflammation. Systemic inflammation occurs when you have a lot of excess toxins in the body. The cells are living in this kind of, you could think of it like a toxic environment. We have an intracellular fluid and an extracellular fluid around the cells. When that extracellular fluid, all the fluids around the cells are toxic, then the body doesn't have enough, let's say, good fluid to get things circulating. So things build up, and then you'll have a lot of excess joint and pain and inflammation because you have all of these excess things in your body. It's constantly trying to get rid of things. So when we eat in clean food, when we do a 7-day clean eating challenge, it helps to reboot this. It helps us to get those toxins out. So very important. So take a look at this now and then later, and you think about yourself. Are you having any of these signs and symptoms right now? What is that looking like for you? And what steps you need to take to get your body back into balance? So the basics of clean eating. So let's start talking about the 7-day clean eating challenge with first talking about the foundations of health, right? So before looking at real meal ideas and other tips for a clean eating lifestyle, we really have to hone in on what exactly this type of diet is going to do for you. And if diet is a trigger word for you, you can think of it as a nutritional plan. We're doing this 7-day clean eating nutritional plan. I work with a lot of patients that have some eating disorders and other types of triggers. Maybe that's from your upbringing, whatever. But if diet is a trigger for you, word for you, just substitute it, no problem. Nutritional plan, healthy eating, anything like that. So you want to hone in on what nutritional plan is right for you. And we're going to talk about that and go over what clean eating is and what is allowed and not allowed, and basically how this all works. So the simple rules, right? Let's lay some ground rules. So a good place to start when clean eating is to learn about simple and basic rules involved with lifestyle, right? So in general, you're focusing more on healthy, whole and fresh foods, right? That whole foods diet, nothing that's in a box, nothing on the inside of the store where it's all in these different packages. I'm going to talk about how to shop. We're eating on those outside aisles to really bring in the good nutrients. Instead of counting calories or cutting your carbs, we're going to simply try to cook more fresh ingredients and avoid highly processed foods. That's going to be a big thing about what we're doing. We're going to be eating fresh, simple foods and avoiding ones that are really processed. And what does this mean? This could mean like grating your own cheese, or no longer using canned fruits and vegetables, and only having eggs or dairy that's from free range or grass-fed. And that's really important because we don't want to add any other toxins, especially from animal products, into our clean eating system. So with a clean eating lifestyle, you should be cooking most meals on your own and reducing those saturated and trans fats, eating really good, healthy fats like avocado and walnuts and things like that, coconut oil, really things that are going to not only bring in healthy fats, which are good for the brain and the nervous system and the joints. We need healthy fats for our hormones to build those building blocks for hormones. So healthy fats are key. When we eat bad fats, all those things I just mentioned suffer. So your brain health suffers, your hormonal health suffers, your neurological health suffers, your joints, the way you move the body becomes more stiff. So lots of things are affected, our hair, skin, and nails. So healthy fats are really important. And you also want to look at your caffeine intake and alcohol and reduce that as much as possible during the 7-day food eating challenge or clean eating challenge. Okay. Let's talk about going for fresh produce. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about going for the fresh produce. So it's really important to eat fresh produce. And the reason for this is when we're eating clean eating, produce is going to have this huge part on our diet, right? Because we're eating so much of that, right? We're eating that outside aisle environment. And you can also have some carbs over this 7 clean eating day challenge. You want to get plenty of protein, healthy protein with not added hormones. Fruits and veggies are a good portion of our meals, right? So we're going to be putting a lot of those on the plate, particularly with lunch and dinner. And you want to have fresh produce as much as possible. This means trying to reduce how often you turn to frozen veggies, which I'm going to talk about that. Sometimes that's okay. And get them in the produce section and slice them up yourselves. Like you can see from this amazing picture over here. It's so pretty. We've got fresh oranges and grapefruit. Look at those carrots. Look at the vibrancy. And this is eating the rainbow. You can see with the cucumbers and the zucchini and the broccoli. We have the purple family with the cabbage and the eggplant. It's really important to eat a full rainbow of colors because we get different aspects of healthy nutrients from those different colors. Very important. And you can also go to farmers markets. If you live somewhere, they have a lot of local farmers markets. It's winter now. That's not as many fresh vegetables, but there's still some. People have greenhouses. But if you can get your produce there or grow it in your own greenhouse, or if you have a tower garden like I do in my house, whatever it takes to really get that fresh produce. So we want to avoid processed foods over the next 7 days in general for clean eating, but the 7-day clean eating challenge is really about saying no to processed foods. And processed foods are like really a major no-no on the clean eating program. You want to use as many natural and fresh ingredients as you can. If it comes in a package, I want you to consider what was in it. If you're not used to reading labels and you need help with that, please send me a message in the portal where you're invited. We have a chat where we can talk about things throughout the week. Send everybody a message and say, hey, I'm having problems reading labels. I need help. No, I have handouts and lots of great stuff I can give to help guide you, because it's important that you know what those ingredients are on the label. So if you're going to buy something that's processed, you know what it is. There's a lot of hidden ingredients in labels, and it's important to know what the ratios are. But more importantly, to not buy things that are in a box. That's really key. So shredded cheese, for example, comes in a block. You can grate it yourself. And you, like I mentioned, you want to have that dairy that's really that grass-fed dairy. If you're eating dairy, if maybe you're not during this challenge, maybe you're like, oh, I think I want to eliminate that. Maybe you already know it's inflammatory. Many people have a dairy allergy. It can cause lots of different symptoms: upset stomach, diarrhea, constipation. It can cause stuffy ears, runny nose, indigestion, congestion. It can cause headaches, mood changes. So if you're wondering if you do have a dairy sensitivity, then you can check with me and we can get a food sensitivity test ordered for you. No problem. But anyway, chopped onions also come in full onions, right? So you can get that full onion. You can buy them, but it's better to chop them yourselves because it's one less step, right? Those are all really good examples to start with your clean eating, healthy cooking. Okay, let's talk about the do's and the don'ts when starting with clean eating, because this is an important aspect because we want to make sure that we're eating the do's. And I'm going to talk about that. So if you're really like brand new to clean eating, oh my gosh, this year I'm really going to be focusing on clean eating, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed because there's a lot of information out there about what to eat, what not to eat. There's so many different nutritional plans, paleo, keto, Atkins, there's so many different things. But when we think about how we want to eat, it's really about eating clean. So that's what this is about. It's just really simple, just getting down to those basics. Now, there's a lot to learn, but it's really about, like I said, reading the labels, checking the ingredients, and knowing how and when to exercise. That's an important part of clean eating, because remember how I showed that slide in the beginning of the toxins. I'll only go back to that one for you. This one here. So when we are eating clean, it helps the system, these detoxification systems are called the emunctories, or they're our organs of elimination. When we're eating cleanly, these are functioning well. Like I mentioned, we're not, they start to clog up. But exercise is also a huge piece of clean eating because it gets everything circulating. Everything's moving through the body, if you're turning on that motor of the car, revving up the engine and getting things moving. So exercise is a really clean, key, important part. Okay. So let's talk about the do's. So when we're talking about the do's with clean eating, produce, like I mentioned, is a huge aspect of the nutritional program, that 7-day clean eating challenge. We want to be eating clean foods. You can also have some carbs, plenty of fresh, healthy protein. So try to stay focused on the lean proteins, fish and chicken, but you could add in some red meat and pork if that's already in your plan. But focus really on that being if you're talking about a plate, right? So you're going to have the protein, it's a quarter of your plate. Maybe you have some carbs or grains in that other quarter. And then the other whole half of the plate is really going to be all about your fruits and vegetables, that big salad. So you really want to focus on getting a lot of those vegetables in. Excuse me. You want to have fresh produce as much as possible. And this means even trying to reduce how often you turn to frozen veggies. So if you are in the habit of eating a lot of frozen veggies, try not to do that over the next 7 days and really focus on eating fresh veggies. And even though it's winter, there's still lots of fresh veggies out there in the produce section of your grocery store. In Asheville, North Carolina, we have lots of really great health food stores that have wonderful veggies. So search that out. If you're new to eating clean and healthy and really diving in, you might have to go to some new stores and see if they have organic produce. What is their produce section like? Really start to find a store that resonates with you. And to save money and have a larger selection, try finding, again, like I mentioned, local farmers markets. Okay, so the main do's here. So these are really key over the next 7 days. So you want to eat breakfast daily, eat more frequently, smaller meals. This energizes you. And also your body doesn't feel so full. Meal prep and plan, and choose natural fruit sources. So let's talk about these. So eating breakfast daily, this is really important. If you're in the habit now that you don't eat a lot of breakfast, it's not your go-to, that you like skip over into lunch, you're not eating till later, it can send your adrenal system. If you're in the habit of skipping breakfast, it can send the adrenal system, which balances our blood sugar, into a crash. And so then we don't have very much energy to last through the day. And if you have a lot of adrenal fatigue, it can be very challenging for that system and can cause a lot of exhaustion. So breakfast is a really important meal. And if you're exercising like myself, I like to exercise in the morning. I've got to eat that breakfast in the morning because after exercising, my body needs to refuel. So with clean eating, you want to have enough fuel to get through the day. That's the bottom line. So there's going to be great aspects, you'll see that where you'll know exactly what to eat, which is perfect. Having a protein shake or smoothie or oatmeal, totally fine. Those are great choices. Just put something in your body within the first hour of waking. If you're taking some medication where you need to wait, like a thyroid medication, you need to wait 30 minutes or so, make that into your plan. You're like, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to take that medication right away, and then I'm going to go right into an hour after that eating, or whatever that looks like for you, because it's really important to have that food in the system. Eating more frequently and smaller meals to keep your metabolism up. And that's really important, right? As we age and shift, especially as women, and especially during the pandemic, we have been sitting a lot more. We haven't been moving. We want that metabolism, that thyroid to be very active. We want our fat to be burning. So when we eat smaller meals, but more frequently, more closer together, instead of 3 larger meals a day, it splits those calories up and other macros into 5 to 6 meals. And it allows us to burn through that fuel much more efficiently and burn fat, increase metabolism. So that's really important over the next 7 days and in general too. When you are doing this challenge and that really worked for me really well. I like eating the smaller meals, continue that. And this might be something that you continue moving forward once you start eating clean. So meal prep and plan. This is really vital. You want to make sure you're prepared, right? You want to know what's coming up, how you're going to get into something. If you plan on going on a hike or traveling, have plenty of clean eating snacks so you don't run out of fuel. Choose natural fruit sources. So instead of having added sugar in your nutritional plan, you really want to go for natural sugar sources like raw honey or fresh fruit. You want, again, to have that stable sugar, not refined sugar, where sugar is really like battery acid to the system. It's a really poor ingredient to have in a nutritional plan. So cutting it out. If you have any sugar issues, like if you have a history of eating a lot of sugar and sugar is just like your bad friend, so to speak. Okay, let's talk about the don'ts. Hopefully you haven't been eating a lot out of this vending machine in this picture here, but it can happen. And it's easy for us to, when we have our go-tos. Eating packaged food, that's a big no-no. One of the simplest ways to eat cleaner is to avoid packaged foods. Plain and simple, right? Stick to stuff you can make from bake or scratch, and drink empty calories. So you don't want to be drinking empty calories, especially sugared sodas, drinks from Starbucks that have tons of calories. These are not clean. They have no nutritional value. They're just adding on tons of calories and fat you don't need. Stick to water, herbal teas, maybe a little bit of coffee in the morning, and if you're drinking juice, have it be something that you make in your juicer. Skip the healthy fats. So while you want to avoid excessive amounts of fat, like from butter, margarine, and red meat, other fats are healthy. Like I mentioned before, that's our fuel. Our body needs healthy fats to function. It's got to have that fuel. So healthy fats like nuts, seeds, coconut oil, and avocados, those are going to be great sources for you for those healthy fats. So how do we grocery shop for clean eating? I think this is really important because sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're just starting something new. Okay, grocery shopping for clean eating. So like I was saying, this is a really important part of the clean eating program and in eating in general, about knowing where to shop. It can be challenging, especially if you're new to clean eating and you're just getting started. It can be a challenging place. So anyway, let's make it simple. Let's make it easy. Okay, so clean eating diet is a simple diet, right? It's a simple nutritional plan that just takes a little tweaking to your current favorite meals, because that's what it's about. Swapping things out that aren't healthy for us for swapping things in that are healthy. And that's really easy to do once you start doing it. Studies have shown that it takes us 90 days to build a new habit. The 7 days is going to be just a jump start for those 90 days, right? If you're really wanting to stick with stuff for long term. One thing I should mention is that on my website, at the top, under the tabs, under nutrition, every month I post healthy, free recipe guides with all the shopping guides, recipes, grocery lists, everything you need there. And you can look back at all the past months. So anyway, those are great. They're really healthy, gluten-free, and with dairy-free options. So that's a wonderful resource if you're looking for some more healthy recipes after the 7-day clean eating challenge is over. Okay, so one thing you need to get used to is really how you grocery shop. And this can be challenging, especially I find it the most challenging myself. I don't know if you can put this over in the chat if this resonates with you. When I'm hungry, I go to the store and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not a good time for me to be shopping. I always get the things that aren't healthy for me. So my body is, oh my gosh, grab that off the shelf. And I know that's not really what's going to be sustainable for health. So if that happens for you too, put just a big yes over in the chat so we can all be helping each other out. So here are some tips for managing the grocery store and avoiding all these processed foods and goodies at the same time. Okay, always bring a list. Hands down, really important. And you'll see there's a grocery list that I've given you all for the 7-day challenge. So you probably have a lot of these things already, but you might need to get a couple tomorrow to get started with the challenge, but there's no avoiding this. If you don't have a healthy shopping list, when you go to the store, you're going to buy things that are not healthy for you. That's just it. So your grocery list should be as detailed as possible, listing all the ingredients for all the meals you have planned. And if you have any ingredients that you aren't 100% sure that your store is going to have, you might need to have some other alternative stores on your list. You're like, okay, if I don't know, if Whole Foods doesn't have it, and I'm going to try Ingles or whatever, or Harris Teeter, whatever your local store is. And that's important because you want to make sure that you have a good source. Also, you don't want to have to run all over the place, but you want to have the things you need for your list, or have a good substitution, like a backup. Like for me, I'm like, okay, if I don't have limes, I can use lemons, etc. The list in hand, you can be sure you only buy what's on your list and avoid all the temptations that you might come across. You hope. So start in the produce section. Oh, look at this beautiful picture. I just love this. It's so pretty. We got the carrots and the turnips, and the greens and the kale. I love fresh veggies. So since a good portion of your list is probably going to be fruits and veggies, because that's what we're focusing on, this is where you want to start first. So I always go, that's where no matter what, I always go to that produce section first to really get what I need. And we also, I don't know if you have this where you live, but we have a wonderful CSA. And so we get a CSA box every once a week, and I can order local fresh veggies from there. And I really like that because I like to support the local economy and to get as much local and organic produce as I can. So if that's something that's in your area, you could look into that. So get all of your fresh produce here first, and then you can get the other healthier stuff. Like maybe you're buying some healthy salad dressings. I like the Primal Kitchen because it's made with avocado oil and it doesn't have any guar gum or any bad ingredients. Hummus, you can either make your own or buy some at the store. There's lots of great ones. And healthy cheese. So looking for some healthy cheese. And one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier about shredding your own cheese is because they add, when you buy cheese already shredded, they add like this stuff to it so that it doesn't, I can't remember the name of what it's called right now, but they add stuff to it so it doesn't stick together. And that's not good for you. You want to have a whole food and you want it to be fresh as possible. If you're picking up nuts and seeds, you might find them in the produce section as well, or you might need to go to the nuts and seed section. So shop the perimeter. And this is what I was mentioning before about those outside aisles. Really important, because once you're done in the produce section, you're going to have a little bit more shopping to do, and shopping the perimeter. So that's at outside aisles where you have your wonderful dairy, the butcher area where you have your seafood and chicken and other meats. And then maybe some of the other aisles with, maybe you have the eggs and different aspects of like that. Or example is the bulk section of your food store. I have that in Whole Foods where I shop, or some of the other co-op. There's a section that's on the outside aisle with just the bulk ingredients. So I can go right there and get like bulk nuts or any other grains I need, etc. So you only really need to go to the middle aisles for certain ingredients like grains and oils if you haven't been able to get those on the outside aisles. And the majority of the middle aisles have packaged and processed foods. Not good for you for the clean eating challenge, because you're trying to avoid them, right? And your don'ts that we talked about before. So the perimeter of the store is where you're going to find all your great stuff. So start shopping there first. So only go to the middle aisles for necessities. So lastly, head to those scary middle aisles, but only go to the ones you absolutely need. So if you haven't been shopping this way in the past, this might just take a little bit of, you probably have a store you go to all the time you're really familiar with, but you might need to be changing things up now. So start on that perimeter, then go to the inside aisles only for those things that you really need. And I recommend not going down the snack aisle, and because that's going to tempt you. It's just better to not be tempted. Okay, let's talk about clean eating food swaps that are going to make your life easier. And this is really important because we eat the same foods regularly and we get in the routine, but if we're trying to eat healthy, we're like, okay, I really like that. What can I eat instead? So the clean eating diet is made up of wonderful things that we can eat to help boost our nutrition. And so it's more than a diet and nutritional plan. It's really a lifestyle. I want you to start thinking about that over the next 7 days. It's something you can stick with for the rest of your life. It's really easy and has simple, easy foundations and simple, easy steps. There are many ways to eat cleanly, from skipping dairy. Some people don't want to eat dairy. That, like I mentioned before, it can be inflammatory. Maybe you're vegetarian or vegan, whatever kind of food nutritional plan you're on. To simplify that process in the beginning, it's good to know what foods you can eat now and then how to replace them. So this is great. So fruit juice, or fruits instead of juice. So if you love to have your fruit juice in the morning or as an afternoon snack, it's really time to start switching that up with a fresh fruit. And that's one is fruit has a lot of fiber. It's really going to help get things moving. It's also going to be at a lower glycemic index. It's not going to have any additives, and it's really a fresh, pure whole food. You can make your own juice as well. I did a juicing class at the beginning of the year on Instagram Live, so you can go back and check that out if you're interested. You can also juice for yourself with various fruits and vegetables for a much cleaner option, like I just mentioned there. So hummus instead of mayo. One mayonnaise I can recommend is the Primal Kitchen, made with avocado oil. They have a vegan version and a regular version. So that's a great one to substitute out, but you can also just use hummus. And when you're making a sandwich, it's really easy to spread that on. If you're not doing any beans though, whether maybe you're doing paleo or something like that, or you're avoiding beans, then the mayo I mentioned, which is, I'll put it over in the chat here, Primal Kitchen. That's a great brand, really. They don't have any additives. And you can have lots of things with your hummus to make it more nutritional. You can have carrots, and you can have celery, other vegetables, slices of beets. You could put it on a sandwich. And mayonnaise is filled with lots of fat and calories when it's that pure mayonnaise and not made with a healthy fat like the one I mentioned from Primal Kitchen. So always check the labels. What kind of oil did they use? Canola oil is not a good oil. It's highly processed in the way that it's made, and it's not a good fat for us. So coconut oil is a good fat, and avocado is great. They don't make a coconut oil mayonnaise. I think it wouldn't work well, but they do make an avocado oil mayonnaise, which is a really good fat. So cauliflower instead of rice or potatoes. So this is a great thing to start switching up in your nutritional plan and the 7-day clean eating challenge is to try cauliflower rice. One place, I think it's Trader Joe's. If you shop at Trader Joe's or you have one near you, and they also have at Whole Foods, I think too, they do make it where it's already like a riced up for you in the frozen section. So you could try that. But like I said, I prefer if you don't do that during the 7-day clean eating challenge, you're doing it fresh. And cauliflower rice is pretty straightforward and easy to make. If you just put it through a food processor and then rices up, or you can mash it. You can cook it in a nice steamer and then mash it up like mashed potatoes. It tastes great. So if you've been enjoying white rice or white potatoes, this is a great time to mix things up. In general, they're not necessarily bad for you. They do have a lot of starch and they're highly processed, especially white rice. So using a different alternative like brown rice can also be a good substitution for that. But cauliflower can replace both. And I really like the way it tastes. But some people aren't doing cauliflower in their nutritional plan, or they don't like cauliflower. But this is a great time to try out something new and different. So vinaigrette instead of dressing. I did mention that like Primal Kitchen, I'm not like pushing Primal Kitchen, but I just want to give you guys some things to buy with some brands to use at the store. And that's a good one. But making your own vinaigrette is super easy. You can just do that with apple cider vinegar and avocado oil, lemon, and some spices. Really easy. But you can also buy bottled. And that's one I know that doesn't have a lot of ingredients that aren't good for you for the clean eating challenge. So making your own though is also really fun and healthy. So let's do a little discussion here. I'm going to stop the share for a second. I'm going to put this question. So what do you find is your biggest challenge when it comes to healthy eating? Let's see. Robin said, going for something quick because I'm really hungry. Yeah. So remember I mentioned before about planning, and that's a big thing, is making your snacks ahead of time. That's one thing that I'll try to do on a day when I have more time, like Sunday. I'll make a bunch of healthy snacks and like carrots and hummus and put that in the fridge. So when I'm hungry, I can just pop on in and to the fridge and they're ready for me. So if you're busy, you're out of the house a lot, you can make a little cooler, bring it with you, or have healthy snacks like nuts and some dried fruit, or like an apple sliced up with some almond butter, banana, like things like that. That's a really important one, Robin, because you want to make sure that your blood sugar is stable and during the clean eating challenge. Anybody else have one? Okay, if you think of one as we're moving along here, you can feel free to put it in there and I can comment on it and chat. But that's a great one, Robin, and really important. Okay, let's go back to the screen here. Okay, breakfast ideas for your clean eating plan. So we've talked about what we're going to be doing. We're going to be shopping on the outside aisles. We're going to be buying healthy foods. We're going to be avoiding the inside. But now what do we make? So these are going to be some ideas here. So clean pancakes. I love making pancakes. That's definitely one of my food loves is a Sunday pancakes. But I really like to make healthy pancakes. So I either will make my batter myself, or this is a quick and easy one you can do yourself. So pancakes, traditionally, they have a lot of carbs. They're not made with healthy ingredients, but making your own, you can take 2 eggs for every medium banana and you just mash it up together, add some cinnamon, and you cook them just like pancakes. Super, super easy. If it's one time, sometimes that can be a little thick. So what I'll do is I'll add a little almond milk to thin it out a little bit if needed. And then you can serve that with a little honey and a little fresh fruit. And there you go. A really easy breakfast. If you're doing, or you have done in the past, doing something, this isn't keto, that pancake recipe because it has some bananas, but it is paleo. So you could eat it in that. So paleo is when we're avoiding grains. So that's a big one. I see a chat coming up here. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. Diane said, paying attention to portion sizes. So yeah, that is a good one and important when we're thinking about clean eating. And that just takes an adjustment. And what I recommend is, remember I mentioned before that like clean eating plate, right? So dividing that up. And when you're making your plate for dinner, you're like, okay, I want to make sure that my protein is only the size of my fist or smaller, nothing bigger than that. And then grains, like a half a cup, start with that half a cup. Our brain and stomach, the gut brain connection, they communicate and they send messages back and forth. But sometimes when the food gets there, that message is a little slower, right? As it's communicating back to the brain. So if we start with smaller portions on our plate in the beginning, smaller portions of protein, smaller portions of that carb, that grain or whatever that carb's going to be, like cauliflower rice, and a larger portion of veggies, then we're going to be feeling full faster. And then the message is going to be able to get to the brain and say, hey, I'm done eating, I'm full. And that way you're not eating more than you should. So it should reduce that portion size. I hope that helps, Diane. That's a great one. Okay, here's another one. I love avocado toast. It's super easy to make. You can use here, there's a picture of toast, which you can either, if you're eating gluten, you could have a nice gluten bread, make sure it's a whole grain bread or a gluten-free bread. And then you can put a nice avocado over the top. And this is a little soft boiled egg. So super easy. You could add some other stuff like vegetable slices or salmon or tuna. I don't really like tuna for breakfast all the time, but I love having fresh salmon over the top. This one has sprouts, this picture. So there's lots of really great things you can do. You could also put some hummus for some extra protein. I like my things spicy, so I like to sprinkle it with some like a Tabasco sauce or pepper. Yum. So smoothies are a fabulous way to, remember I mentioned it's important to have a healthy breakfast early. You don't want to skip it. Another popular breakfast, of course, is the smoothie. There's so many different ones to make. And there's some in your recipe guide, which is awesome. You can add greens. You can see there's kale here. You can have orange. You can have blueberry, really high in antioxidants, raspberries. You can have peanut butter or almond butter. I recommend almond over peanut butter, but you can add that, bananas, cocoa powder, any of their superfoods. So this is a really great way. And again, I mentioned my free meals and nutritional meal plans on my website. There's always smoothie recipes in there every month. So that's a great one I always like to mix things up, try a different smoothie. And especially in the winter, it can be a little cooler. So I usually don't have as many smoothies in the winter, but unless I'm doing a lot of exercise and getting my body warmed up. So here's a great simple smoothie recipe. So a cup of greens, a half a frozen banana, 1 cup of frozen berries, a half a cup of yogurt, or non-dairy is totally fine. And then your choice of liquids. So you could add water, you could add a little protein powder to that. You could add almond milk. So there's lots of things that you can mix up that with. Okay, overnight oats. This is a really easy one, especially if you're busy. I love making overnight oats. I work at the farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina. It's called the Veterans Healing Farm. And I work there in the summers from April to through October. And I get up really early and go to the farm and work. So on those days when I do that, I like to make a nice little overnight oats because I can just eat it quickly and it's ready to go and it's super healthy. So overnight oats is when you soak the oats the night before in a non-dairy milk is the best. And then you can add coconut and nuts. You could add chia seeds and flax seeds. You can add some cinnamon or nutmeg and honey. You let that sit overnight and then you add your fresh fruits on top. That's really super easy and a great way to get the day started. Okay, let's talk about lazy meals because I know we're all busy. Not that we're lazy, but what I mean by that is just making things that are super easy to make when you're busy. So lazy meals that are clean. So rotisserie chicken, this is a super easy one. You can pick up a rotisserie chicken at your store. Just make sure that you're getting it from a good health food store. That you're not making a chicken that has a lot of additives, like super salty, and then also not with added hormones because you want to make sure that you're getting something nice and clean for your plan. But this is a great one. And I know I talked about not using a lot of frozen veggies, but this is something easy you could do if you were busy. You could do the frozen cauliflower rice, and you can combine the chicken with your choice of frozen veggies, right? That you can cook in the microwave if you have, or I don't like microwaves that much, but if you're busy, it's an easy one. Or you could do it and fry it on the stove, have it with a nice big salad. You can pop the veggies in the microwave while you're pulling the chicken apart, and you can make a nice big salad, put the chicken on top of the salad. You could add quinoa, brown rice for more carbs, and you can easily make those in the rice cooker. So this is a super easy and fast one you can do. Pre-made smoothie packs. I love these because this is a great one if you're busy, super, super easy. So you can take little Ziploc bags. I recommend getting the ones that you can, I like the silicone ones because they are reusable. I don't like using plastic, but this picture shows plastic Ziploc bags, but you can use that or something else. And it's really easy. So remember the little recipe that I showed before here with the smoothies? So you could just make a bunch of those bags with different kind of fruits and banana and berries and nuts and greens, of course. Oops, sorry. And then you can put those into the freezer and just pop it out. And then you get your frozen smoothie ready to go. So that's a really easy one. You could label it like a blueberry smoothie, raspberry smoothie, things like that. So that can be done in 5 minutes. You're ready to go in 5 minutes, really quick and easy. Using canned veggies for salad. Well, this isn't exactly a picture of canned veggies, but I don't know if you guys have made mason jar salads. I love making those. And I was looking for pictures and I thought, I'll put this one on here because it's like a mason jar. But yeah, mason jar salads are really awesome. I'll look for some recipes. Maybe I can put that in our clean eating challenge because they're really easy. You can make them the night before and take them to work, or you can have them ready to go. So canned veggies might not seem like exactly the healthiest choice. So as I mentioned, fresh, but there are some that you can buy that are fresh or fresher. You just want to make sure that you're getting ones that don't have any added sugar. Try to get ones that don't have a lot of added salts and that don't have a lot of preservatives. Of course, I'm encouraging you to do fresh. Like maybe there's not any fresh organic corn right now. So you're like, okay, I'm going to get some canned corn, or you could get frozen corn, which is even better. Those are some ideas of some vegetables. If you can't get them right now, you could get them canned or frozen, and you can put those over some quinoa you made, or in your rice cooker, some brown rice that you made. You could mix in your favorite veggies or beans like chickpeas, black beans, and corn. You could make a nice like taco salad. There's lots of ways you could mix things up when you're eating healthy, and you mix it all together with some olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and you're good to go. Super easy. Okay, so your 7-day clean eating plan. I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to pull up. Most of you, I think, are following along with the guide, so I'll pull that up too. But so this is a sample of what you're gonna. This is Monday, and this is similar over the 7 days. So I broke it down for you, super easy, so you could get started with your 7-day clean eating challenge. So you're going to have breakfast, a fruit smoothie. Here's the recipe. You got a scoop of protein powder, frozen banana, half a cup of strawberries, half a cup of blueberries. You can buy those frozen. They're not as fresh right now. And then, so that's going to be, and I like to get the antioxidant. It's like a power bag filled with those different fruits. It's got raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, all mixed together. I'll get them in a big bag, then organic. And so that's a great way for you to just have that ready for your smoothies. You could do frozen pineapple is a good one, and frozen mango. Those are really awesome ones for your smoothies. Add a little bit of honey, little almond milk, you're good to go. Morning snack. So here's the snacks. I think that Diane, or no, it was Robin that was asking about snacks. Here's your healthy snack: apple and nut butter. When I'm busy, what I do is I slice up that apple, I squeeze a little bit of lemon on it so it doesn't turn brown, and then I have a nut butter like almond butter or sunflower butter that I have ready to go. I put it in a little container, and there's my healthy. For lunch, you're going to have a Greek salad. So spinach with quinoa, chickpeas, kalamata, olives, cherry tomatoes, feta cheese, olive oil, or vinaigrette. Very easy to get that together. Afternoon snack, some cherry tomatoes and hummus, or you could do carrot sticks or celery sticks or all three of those and some hummus. And then dinner, spinach salad with a chicken breast. So you can bake a chicken breast or grill a chicken breast, or you could use that rotisserie chicken and pull off some of that chicken. And then you're going to have it with a little kind of on a salad with chopped cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, feta cheese, and vinaigrette dressing. Super easy. And that's all clean food, very healthy, right? Eating right off of the perimeter and really easy to pull together. Not a very complicated meal. So let's go to the guide. Okay. So here is the guide that I posted in the chat, and it's also in the portal. And so you'll see here that it has on page 13, it's got all of your plan for each day and what to eat for eat meals. So this is a 7-day meal plan. It gives you an idea of what to eat while clean eating for a week. It's budget friendly, and it has enough food for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks each day. It's awesome. It's got approximate macros are also provided too. So you got that, and all the way through there, and you'll see all the way through Sunday. And then I also put in, so let me stop that share. Oh, you're welcome, Raman. She said she likes the resources. You're so welcome. Let me stop the share and I'll share the other share. Oh, you want us to know where the grocery list is? Yes, the grocery list is, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment too. I'll show you exactly where to find it. Okay, and then let me share the grocery list. Okay, here's the grocery list. And here you can see it's got all of your fruits, your vegetables, your grains and bread, nuts, canned foods, meats and seafoods, dairy, and oil, honey, dips, and sauces. Really straightforward. It's not a complicated meal plan because we're eating clean. So it's super easy. And then, okay, I'm going to stop that share. And then let me share. So I'm going to share. Okay. You should have all received an invite. I put you all into the 7-day challenge. You should have received an invite from Practice Better from Dr. LuLu Naturopathic Clinic. And this is what it looks a little bit different, I think, from your side, but this is the introduction and welcome. So it's welcome to the 7-day clean eating challenge. This is module number 1, and it explains the program. And it has, these are your materials, the 7-day clean eating guide and the clean eating grocery list. And they're right here at the bottom. So you'll see, you're going to click on it and then you can download those 2 things. Also, I added everyone into the 7-day clean eating challenge group so we can talk about any questions, anything we have like that. And that is going to go, I think it goes live at 7. And you'll see an introduction from me there. Introduce yourself and we can have a nice chat about everything that's going on there. So we talked about the Clean Eating Challenge. We went through the main program. So it's super easy. Everything opens up for you. The introduction and the welcome is open now. So as soon as you get into Practice Better, you'll have access to that, the introduction module. Then tomorrow, day 1 is going to open up. So every day you already have the recipe, but every day I'm giving you tips and tools to really get you through those 7 days. And then also the group Healing 7-Day Clean Eating Challenge group is there to support each other. And so you're into that as well. So super great, easy, and fun. So if you're also, I wanted to tell you, if you're ready to take your eating to the next level, I have my genetic detox program. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do the 7-day clean eating challenge. Maybe you're going to do it or you're ready to jump in. I have starting, it's February the 2nd, which is next week. I have my genetics detox program starting. It's a 3-week program. It's a great way to really look at everything together. I'll talk you through all different types of things through recipes. You'll have, it's like basically like the 7-day clean eating challenge multiplied out, right? So it's the 7-day clean eating challenge is a really great jump start to the genetic detox. And some of the things, so there's 3 phases. You get prep for the program. We have the detoxification phase and then the transition. So we're going to be eliminating foods and then transitioning them back in to really figure out and learn what foods are triggering our system and are not good for us. And also within the program, you get a free 30-minute consultation with me where I can talk you through, answer some questions. If you want to add in there's a supplement part of the program. If you want to add that in, you don't have to, but I can talk about what that looks like. So that's a great, super amazing bonus for the program. And it's a 30-minute visit and that's worth $200. So that's a really great bonus. And what's going to happen during the program is we're going to gently cleanse the damaging toxins from the whole body, right? It's a gentle cleanse, which I really think is important, not something extreme for the system. I don't think those are good at all because we can have bad side effects and bounce back and forth. We're going to rebuild a strong immune system, really important right now, and reboot the adrenals. We're going to improve hormonal balance and feel less stressed, exhausted, and run down. We're going to improve the look of our skin, hair, and nails. We're going to dramatically improve our gut health so you can enjoy healthy, regular digestion and an additional immune boost. We're going to shed toxins that I mentioned that have weight gain, bloating, and belly fat. We're going to enjoy real, delicious, nutritious foods that energize and revitalize our mind and body. Like, it's an amazing program. I love it. The patients that go through it just feel so good, including myself. So if you're ready to take this to the next level, you can start thinking about it now. If you're like ready to sign up, you can do that too. You can sign up. It's a 3-week program, and all the people that are attending the webinar tonight and in the program, you can get the program for $149. It's a savings of $100. And you can sign up using the coupon code genetics Detox 22. And that is the link there. You can also click on the link in the slides and I'll send it out in the recap. Actually, I'm not going to do a recap. Actually, I will send out a recap because not everybody could attend tonight, but I'll also put this link in our chat too. But you just go to my website, doclulu.com, and then you pull down, and I'm going to show you that too, how to do that, because I want to show you some other things about how to find the other free webinars. And it's doclulu.com/genetic detox. And then you put in the code. Now, I said I was going to be doing a amazing giveaway tonight, and I wanted to make sure. So everyone that is in the program that does a chat communicates something for each day of the program. So that means you have to be engaged in the program, the 7-day clean eating challenge. You need to be commenting on a post that someone else did or a post that I did on each of those days. You'll be entered in to win the genetic detox. So after the 7 days, I'll do a drawing and I'll announce the winner. So that's super exciting. So everybody, please participate in the challenge because it really is fun when we're all participating together. And I just wanted to show you, I want to show my website. I don't think I pulled it up here. Here we go. So here's my website. It's doclulu.com. And I just wanted to show you the one, if you go pull down programs, there's a genetic detox. You can learn more about the program there. And also, oops, that link's not working, but I will fix it for you. If you go to programs here, it should be working here. This is all the different programs that I offer. If you click on genetic detox, there it is. It'll open right up. And these are some at the top of all of my program pages. These are all the free things you can do. Here's the 7-day clean eating challenge. Here's some other webinars you can watch and listen if you want to learn. And then also, if you go to empower.u and scroll down to webinars, these are all of the free webinars that I've am giving this year. They're in chronological order here, the ones that I haven't done yet. But all these, if you click on them, it'll take you to the free webinar and information with a free guide, tons of great resources. If you're looking for things about how to ditch sugar, this is one I mentioned in our sugar detox for adrenal fatigue, 7 ways to boost the immune system, 10 ways to have more energy. So these are all available for you for free. So I just want to make sure you knew that resource because that's a really great one. Let's go back to here. Thanks again, everyone, for attending tonight. I hope that you learned a lot about the 7-day clean eating challenge for the kickoff call. I'm so excited to start this with all of you tomorrow. And for more information, make sure you're following me on Instagram. I always have great stuff. You can learn about health tips, recipes, free webinars, programs, and more. And then stay tuned. If you're looking for specific things to address areas of the body that might be out of balance, I have a thyroid program starting in February, an adrenal reset program for exhaustion and fatigue starting in March. I have my chakra balancing program, which is going to tune up the entire energetic and physical body starting in May. And then I have my Genetic Vibes membership happening in June, and then women's hormone happening in August. So lots of great stuff happening. So make sure you're following me for sure. Okay. And thanks again so much for attending.